Alright everybody, we have serious news from the country of Iran. We have a contender for best copycat for Lamborghinis. China, be on the lookout, you got a contender coming from you. Now when you're accustomed to seeing Lamborghini replicas, you probably think of a Euro kit car, right? And it probably looks shitty and not that good in performance. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm from the country that brought you, I think, a rip-off F-16. I present to you the Lamborghini Murcielago SV. By Iran. Yeah, not Italy. Okay, so Iranian engineers successfully made a copycat Lamborghini Murcielago SV. Why the SV Murcielago? I don't know. The inventor wasn't out at the time, I'm guessing, so they chose the SV Murcielago. They reverse engineered the whole thing, all the body parts inside, all the precise mechanics of the car manufactured and mounted based on the original Murcielago platform. Its chassis is also one-in-one with the original, so these guys basically took a Lamborghini Murcielago SV, took it apart all the way, and they reverse engineered it and built their own chassis and stuff and their own parts and shit, which is interesting. You know, I applaud them. I think reverse engineering stuff is a fun little thing to do. I've done it myself. I've reverse engineered thumbnails too. One can say I reverse engineered the Bladed Angel thumbnail for once. So there you go. Reverse engineering, anyone can do it. But it's interesting though. I want to point out some interesting things about this this Iranian Lamborghini per se. So first off, let's look at the design of it, and overall the body panels look and fit pretty damn well. This is one of the better looking replicas I've seen in my day. When you're looking at certain replicas, like if it's based kind of like on an MR2 platform or a Pontiac Fiero, they kind of don't look well proportioned. They look kind of wrong. Not with this one though. This one completely built from the ground up from scratch as a Lamborghini Murcielago replica, because it essentially is a Lamborghini Murcielago SV. I'm not saying it's on par quality-wise with the Italians. Oh, hell no, I'm not saying that. I know I'm going to get crucified if I say it is. Also, I'm wondering if the headlights themselves aren't just like actual Lamborghini headlights, if they just order them, or if they actually reverse engineer them. Because contrary to what their media might tell you, or what people are trying to tell us, you know, I don't think this thing is 100% Iranian built. And one big reason is the powertrain. You're probably wondering, okay, so they reverse engineered the Lamborghini Murcielago SV. Does that mean they reverse engineered the roaring, high-revving V12 that Lamborghini is known for? No, they did not. Apparently, that is still in the works. What they ended up doing was using the drivetrain from what I believe to be is the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, the V6 3.8 liter engine. I think that thing pops out like 300 and something horsepowers. Hyundai Genesis Coupe. The Coupe sports car from Hyundai does competition with the 350, 370Z. So yeah, if you guys know how it looks like, Google it, or I'll put a picture up right now. No V12, but they do have the V6, and they do start it up. You hear the V6 purring. Now, I know you're going to be making fun of the cars, saying, oh, it's only got a puny little 3.8 liter V6. Yeah, but I got to applaud them that they didn't tack in a Fiero engine in there, so that's got to count for something, right? It might not be beating other Lambos in this, but definitely not going to be left behind by a fucking Toyota Camry. Another interesting thing here is I noticed while looking at the video and some other pictures of the Iranian supercar. I mean, well, yeah, I guess this is their supercar, quote unquote. The steering column, the steering wheel of this car, very interesting, because if you take a look at it, if you notice, it's actually not original as you might think it would be. I'm gonna put a picture up on screen so you guys can check it out. Okay, so if you look closely at the steering wheel and the silver parts of it, the metallic parts, that looks straight out of a Hyundai Genesis Coupe. And if I cross-reference that picture with the one that I have right here, there's a pretty distinct similarity between the Lamborghini replica from Iran and the Hyundai Genesis Coupe's steering wheel, the Gen 1 steering wheel, that is. Because I think the later Gen steering wheels are a little different compared to the Gen 1s. Any Jenny fans out there, let me know. I respect the hustle. I like the Jennies. And I think the tachometer and the gauges are all Hyundai also. They looked like they were Hyundai gauges, but I'm not 100% sure on that if they are Hyundai gauges. But like I said, the steering wheel is from a Hyundai Genesis, so there you go. But more than likely it is based on the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, the internal instruments and stuff, from what I'm looking at. The Iranian team, led by Mr. If I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm sorry, Mafsoud Moradi. I'm just going to call him Mass. My boy Mass here. Mass says that he suggested that the small company could make 50 to 100 units per year if they were to go into full production. He said he'd also like future iterations of the car to have a larger V8 or even V10 engines too. No V12s though, so yeah. So they're thinking of selling these. And before we get into that, everything from what I've read, it says Mass claims that the top speed is 174 miles per hour. And we don't know if there's been any modifications to the 3.8 liter engine from the Genesis Coupe, or if the transmission could even handle that. So yeah, anyways. Yeah, there's some figures for you. And if you want to know the 0 to 60 time, I guess take the 0 to 60 time of the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, and that'll probably be close, or not the exact 0 to 60 time. They want to sell these, apparently. They want to make 50 to 100 units per year if they were to go into production. Also, a nice little tidbit in this Autoblog article, a lot of where I'm getting this information from, says here, the project to make this thing started 4 years ago, and the team didn't spend any time planning or testing the car. Okay, that is very inspiring. So Replica only. Don't think you're gonna get the performance out of it, I guess. Right? Take those corners with a lot of caution, I guess. But let's go back to the point where they wanted to sell these. Interesting that he wants to do that, him and the company, the little small company. I mean, this is going into very gray area territory. The design is Lamborghini through and through. And the engine might not be. That's a Hyundai product for now. They say they want to put a V8 or a V10 in it. I mean, realistically, do I think they're going to manufacture their own V8 and V10? No, I don't. I mean, if they didn't reverse engineer the V12, what's going to stop them from not doing anything for the V8 and the V10 models? For the V8 models, I guess you could shove an LS motor in there like everyone else does, or if you want to kind of stay true to heritage, I guess, you could shove in an Audi R8 V8 in there, because and if you want a V10, the Audi R8 V10 or the Lamborghini Huracan V10, because those essentially the same engine, right? Just different platforms. I don't know if it's legal to sell these, because pretty much infringing on the copyright and the intellectual property of Lamborghini and their Murcielago SV platform. Don't know if it would be sold in the States, to be honest with you. Don't think anyone would be dumb enough to buy it in the States, to be frank with you. I mean, I applaud them for doing this. You know, I've seen shittier attempts at this from this fuckboy called Super Car Replicas that's been scamming people, so yeah, fuck that guy. This is a great attempt. I like what they did. The body panels all look fit. They look good. Engine though not so hot. If they were to sell this though, I definitely see Lamborghini sending some lawyers and some suits over to Iran and telling them to cut that crap out. But you never know how the intellectual laws work in Iran. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer over there. But I do know that sometimes the state will not honor the intellectual property rights of the owner. For example, I want to remind you guys, I think Chinese company BYD, I think that's who they are. If I'm not, please correct me if I'm mistaken. That Chinese company was a car manufacturer, and so they still are in China, mainland China, right? One of the biggest emerging markets in the entire world, the Chinese market. Even though I hate how they tailor everything for the Chinese market, nothing you can do about it, right? They copied a BMW X series SUV, right? Carbon copy of it. BMW was not happy. I wouldn't be happy either if the Chinese just like copied my work and they claimed it as their own. Styling cues and everything, right? So BMW takes these guys to court in China. Well, basically the Chinese government said, fuck you to BMW, and they dismissed the case. That, oh, there's no way this car looks like the fucking BMW. If you guys want to know more about the case, just go Google BMW China lawsuit and you'll read all about it and how BMW got fucked over. So yeah, maybe that'll be another BMW situation if the Lamborghini boys try to sue them in Iran. I think the only way they could get around this is changing the design slightly and calling it something that isn't a Lamborghini Murcielago SV. This could be a test bed for what they can do and what they want to do and how things work, learning to make a supercar and stuff like that. Definitely, I think this brought a lot of attention to them, and I think that's what they were banking on, getting attention, getting people talking about them online and on the car sphere, so their work can become known. And maybe this is going to be a stepping stone. Maybe they're going to actually release their own supercar with their own internal and all that mumbo jumbo, right? Or maybe shove an LS engine in there like everybody else does. But yeah, Lamborghini Murcielago SV Iranian edition, definitely one for the collectors, right? $1.3 million, boom, the Sultan of Iran or something is going to buy it or something. Definitely cool. Definitely like to see people try their best to replicate something all the way. But I I especially like to see them go the extra mile and make it their own design, you know, not just blatantly ripping it off and saying, check out my Lamborghini Murcielago SV, buy it today. I'm not saying I endorse intellectual property theft. No. I mean, you gotta admire what these guys done. They spent 4 years reverse engineering a Lamborghini Murcielago, which is no easy feat. And they made it basically again. They made it again, minus the engine and the transmission, right? Take a look at the pictures. It looks pretty damn nice. So I'm not gonna insult them by looking at the car and saying, oh, it looks like a piece of shit. Because it doesn't. It doesn't look like a piece of shit. It looks fine. It looks perfect, right? Only thing's missing is a good engine and the proper transmission, right? The single clutch ISR that they use, I think. Or if you want to get really bonkers, get the manual transmission back in there. But yeah, all in all, I think it's cool, the Iranian Murcielago. But definitely missing some stuff to make it officially cooler. So I applaud Mr. Mass and his engineering team. But my suggestion to them would be to not try to sell these under a Lamborghini name. Do try to sell them to something else and maybe change the design a little bit more so you don't infringe on Lambo's rights. Take that with a grain of salt for what you will. And my suggestion to him is that, you know, if you guys can reverse engineer this Lamborghini Murcielago SV to a near perfect replica, why don't you guys try to make your own supercar? I'd love to see what the Iranian engineers can come up with their own supercar. I think that'd be an amazing thing to say, and it'd give them a lot more quote unquote clout, a lot more respect in the international car community, right? Bringing out their own car, their own supercar. Anyways, lads, let me know what you think of the Iranian Lamborghini Murcielago SV Super Veloce in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys later. That's it all for now.